I've always been in with animals, yeah. To see them fly out into the big wide world is beautiful. That's why I do it. And that's where I knew that, wild animals and animals are going to be my forte.
We acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land on which we gather today, the Noongar Wadandi Mort. We pay our respects to their elders, past, present and emerging.
Scratch the surface and everyone has a story. Welcome, Kaya, to the Wisdom of Women.
Today's guest is a dedicated carer and lover of our beautiful wildlife. It's a passion that started as a child and continues to this day.
Doreen Jones has been a wildlife warrior for 40 years.
Yep.
And I'm sure you find them a bit less complicated than humans. Welcome.
Yes, definitely.
And a lot nicer, probably. Yeah.
Welcome.
Well, I don't know about the scars on the arms, but yes.
They do bite occasionally or scratch.
Yes.
Doreen, where did this beautiful love of animals come from? Did you develop it, or do you think you were born with it?
I think I was born with it. As I grew up, my grandfather and my nan and granddad, they lived in the country, and at school holidays we used to go and stay with them, and granddad worked on the farm, and while there was always my sister and I and my two cousins, but while they were all playing around like little girls, I went up the farm and worked with granddad, and played with the animals. And at 9 years old, I drove a big combine harvester. And
Wow, you're getting into it.
yeah, so I've always been in with animals.
Now,
yeah.
where did Granddad live? What country are you talking?
In England. This was in England first. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. so,
Whereabouts?
he was in.
Oh, put you on the spot, haven't we?
He was in Hertfordshire.
Oh,
It's
I
my
love the sound of
area.
it.
Yeah. Near Newport Pagnell.
Oh, gorgeous. And so where did you come from to go and visit them?
I was in Luton.
Are you in Luton?
Yeah.
Where's that? Sorry, where
Luton is
Where's Luton?
Luton. Luton is about 30 k's outside of London.
Okay.
Yeah, and they've got a big airport there, and yeah.
Have you got some early memories when you were a little girl of those tender memories? I don't know, you rescued something or fixed something up. Like what sticks in your mind?
The first thing that sort of come into my mind is because I rescued my dog. Oh. Mum, it followed me home.
Yeah.
And we had him for 17 years, bless his heart. Beautiful dog. But we had hedgehogs breeding down in the garage. That was their home. So they used to come up every night, and we used to give them bread and milk, and and we always knew when they were around because the dog came home with all these fleas all over its face. Yeah. And we'd say, "Where are they?" And he'd run down the compost heap, and there's the hedgehogs in there. Aww. Yeah, so that was one of the first things.
That's so adorable.
Yeah. And then I got a couple of guinea pigs, which ended up to be 57.
I was just going to say, I've got an experience with guinea pigs, same, on the farm, and suddenly you start off with a mating pair and then you've got a city.
Yeah. And I used to show them, and
Oh, wow.
yeah, I used to have real long-haired ones, and
Beautiful.
Spent hours brushing them.
brushing, and getting the ripped up sheets and rolling their hair up into little.
Oh, you didn't?
Yeah, to stop the fur getting dirt.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's gorgeous.
Oh, that is adorable. So some very happy years as a child.
Yes.
And embracing the wildlife. Was there something to do with a zoo as well? Did you volunteer your time?
Yes, I did. When I was 9, we had the dog. And then I asked, Dad wanted to know what I wanted for my birthday, and I wanted to go horse riding. So he paid for my horse riding. And where the horse riding was, there was the zoo. So if we had a quick ride, I went to the zoo and spoke to a few of the keepers. I was quite an outgoing 9-year-old.
You didn't hold back, did you?
No, and I still don't. And I asked him how it would be to, how do you get into the zoo? How do you work into the zoo? And he took me in there and he said, you can volunteer. He said, we'll take you, he took me into the children's zoo and, I became a volunteer at 11
Wow.
and I was handling
Yeah. What kind of
snakes.
animals?
Oh, I had
Oh.
big boa constrictors and all sorts of animals in the children's section. And then,
That's in the children's section.
What did they have in the adult section?
oh yeah, yeah. No, as I got older and I helped out more, I've actually caught a giraffe giving birth. I've actually caught the baby before it hit the ground.
Oh, my goodness.
that's
They said she's
incredible.
she's gonna give birth. We need somebody there to lower it to the ground. Are you up to it? And I said, of course I am.
And here you are as a young girl
That's right.
having these amazing experiences.
So
Oh, that's just
it was
incredible.
the way this big lump of a thing came out and came down, I'm going, I hope I don't drop it or break its legs. But I did. I caught it and I lowered it to the ground. Oh, it was fantastic life.
And how old were you?
I was about 12, 13.
Oh my God.
What an experience.
And then when I was 15, I was still there when I was 15, and I got a chance to ride a killer whale.
Oh, we're all sitting here gobsmacked, Doreen.
Yeah, he said,
just
he said,
throw that
are you
in.
brave? And I said, yeah, nothing worries me. I said, the only thing I hate is spiders and cockroaches. So he said, come on, and he took me to the killer whale. I said, hope you don't dive because I can't swim properly.
Wow.
Yeah, so I rode a killer whale.
So you scrambled on its back and rode around.
And it was obviously very friendly.
Oh, yes, he was beautiful, yeah.
Oh.
Oh, my goodness. Well, my childhood riding horses just seems a bit tame these days now, Doreen.
You can help birth a giraffe or run a killer whale, Shauna. Get your act together.
I know. It's very lacking.
Oh, I love this.
So how on earth did you not spend 24 hours, 7 days a week there, just, immersed in all this?
Yeah, no, the law changed, and then, because I was under 16, I wasn't allowed there anymore, and, but I'm thankful to the keeper for letting me give me that chance,
Yeah.
and that's where I knew that, wild animals and animals are going to be my forte, yeah.
So how long did you continue to live in England?
I was there till I was 32.
Really?
Yeah, so, but I used to do paper rounds and I used to come home with a injured bird or an injured frog and my father says, will you stop coming home with all these animals? Yes, Dad.
So you had a menagerie at home of
Yes,
all these
Dad was very
animals.
good. Yeah, he had a little shed and he made it out. All my guinea pigs were in the shed and so were the other cages.
Your little
and,
hospital.
and we didn't have vets, so it wasn't. Well, sorry, there were vets, but they were very expensive. But we had an organisation called PDSA, which is People's Dispensary for Sick Animals. And you took your animals there, they tried to get them right and do what they have, and you could give them sixpence or a shilling.
Whatever you could
Whatever
afford.
you could. Yep. So a little bit of my pocket money went on to help the animals.
So there you are as a teenager still,
Yep.
young adult. You've pretty much set yourself up as a wildlife carer
That's
from
right.
those early days. There you were.
Yep.
What were some of the more unusual animals that you'd have in your back shed, Doreen?
Probably the hedgehogs were the most ones. No, that wasn't. I'll rephrase that. It was a badger.
Oh.
I rescued a badger
Really?
while I was down on the farm. Yeah, it got its leg caught in wire and I took him home.
Poor baby.
And, what a creature and a half. Yeah.
Personality plus?
Oh, yes. Yes.
I remember the first time I saw a badger in the wild, because I always thought badgers were really small. And then I was driving down the lane and I've looked and I've gone, oh my God, yeah, they were really big.
They're about
huge.
Probably about that long, about that wide,
Yeah,
and stand about that tall.
yeah.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Wow.
And I thought moles
massive.
were big. and badgers were small, but it's the other way
It's
around.
the other round.
Right.
Yeah,
Yep.
this is Wind in the Willows confused me.
There you
The
go.
proportions of
The
everything.
wrong impression.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
little moles. I've had a
beautiful.
little mole.
Oh,
Yeah.
gorgeous.
So,
So what, you're just riding along your bike and you come across the badger?
yeah,
What do? Just pop him under your arm and
I just-
hop on your bike and off you go?
I just put him in my jumper because he was only like this.
Yeah.
Took him home and went, Granddad,
Look what I've got.
look what I got. He went,
Oh.
so
Bless.
when Dad come and picked me up, I took it home with me and had it there. Yeah, I hadn't reared foxes and
Can you imagine how many animals can you fit in the car? Dad's come to pick you up, but it's not just you,
well,
is
a
it?
motorbike and sidecar. Get
Oh,
it right.
really?
That is brilliant. So you had the badger in
yeah,
the sidecar.
Doreen.
Yep. Yep. So
That.
What a great yarn.
That is amazing.
It just sounds magical.
I know.
It's like a book,
Yeah.
isn't it? Or a film.
I would read it.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah,
watch
I'd
it.
watch
But
that.
as I grew up and I went horse riding a lot.
Yeah, okay.
I was always at the stables, and we were always rescuing, pigs and what have you, and taking them back to the farmer, and hand rearing sheep and taking them back to the farmer because they got out, and so animals were always there.
Yeah.
Yep. So, but I did promise Dad I wouldn't take a pig home.
Oh, wow. Oh, that's so cool.
And so as you became a young adult and, life moved on, how did you fit in your wildlife caring duties or,
It just
affection?
happened.
It just continued.
Yeah, it just continued. We came over when I was 17 at school. We had to do a project on a country, and my country was Australia. Because I was fascinated with kangaroos and other things, and my main project was a kookaburra. I was fascinated by the noise and the sound of it, and so when we said we're coming over here, I want to see a kookaburra. So, yes, and my first experience of a kookaburra was nearly give me a heart attack.
The
Because
sound of it.
it was
Yeah,
bigger than you
we
thought.
got picked up. Mum and Dad lived in Albany, and they'd got a bedroom with the windows in the wall, up above in the thing. And I just woke up, and all of a sudden I heard. I flew out the house. I said, "Have you got hyenas here?" So he took me out there, and there was a kookaburra sitting on the windowsill. My first morning in Australia.
They were saying, hey, welcome.
Yeah,
man.
they're
We're
always
here for you.
They're always
they
laughing
are
at people.
still
Yeah.
my favourite.
Oh, I just
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're always laughing.
Yeah,
They're
they
always
are.
laughing.
They're happy.
Yep.
And what a beautiful welcome to Australia.
Exactly.
Your new home, and the native animals are saying, good on you, Doreen.
That's right. Yeah.
And so begin continued love of animals, but in
Yeah.
particular, I suppose, embracing Australian wildlife.
yep.
Very different.
Yeah, and then we went, travelled around Albany. We went to the Wales Museum, and I saw this Albany wildlife, and I thought, "Oh, can we go in there, Dad?" He said, "Yeah, of course we can." Well, that's when I first met my wombat and my possum, and unfortunately, the gentleman's passed away now, but that was in 1982. And he passed away about 6 years ago.
right.
And we stayed friends ever since. And, I've had some amazing creatures from him. Yeah, amazing. Yeah. So I've had golden possums. And in my house, I've had Tasmanian devils. I've had koalas. Yeah, I've had a wombat in my house.
had a koala in your house.
Yeah, little baby.
Tasmanian devil.
And a Tassie devil.
Oh.
I had two. I had twins. Yep.
Whoa.
Sounds like my 3 children.
A koala and 2 devils.
Yeah.
3 devils. Yeah. That's just extraordinary.
Yeah, so I've done I've handled a lot of wildlife here. Yep, and it's just incredible.
So can I ask where the koala came from? What
The
happened?
koala came from the Albany Wildlife Park, and Mum got that chlamydia. Yeah, and they didn't want the baby to get it.
Oh.
And Reg says, "Do you want to take it home?" And my husband's going, oh, another bloody animal. So I said, yes, please. So I brought it home. I had it for 6 weeks.
How old were you, Doreen?
How old was I then? 32.
Yeah.
So you'd really just got here.
Yeah, I'd just arrived.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so...
So have you done a lot of research? Have you so to know how to fix these animals, or how does it work?
Yeah, no, I've got I got a wildlife encyclopedia, and I'm always researching and checking it up and what have you, and asking questions. If you don't ask questions, you don't get to know. But you don't ask questions on Google, and you don't ask questions on just anybody, because so many people have got different
Ideas.
ideas. And Reg introduced me to another gentleman who was in wildlife. He actually took over the Bunbury Wildlife Park in the end. It's just asking questions and having hands-on and having a very good vet.
It's interesting, isn't it? That passing of the knowledge, the
Passing on
wisdom,
the
as you
knowledge is
say, it's
incredible.
connecting with the right people.
Yeah. Unfortunately, there's a lot of people say, have you got proof? Have you got it in writing? I said, I've got a mind of an elephant, love. I said, I remember, I can, reel off. And, it does cause a bit of a problem, but...
But after 40 years, your practical experience with so many different animals,
that's right.
with something that you don't pick up in a book.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. And having a good vet. It was at Alan McGregor at very first, and now John at the Bunbury Vet or the Blair Street Vet. Yep. They've just guided me all the way through.
Amazing.
If I didn't understand what he was on about, he'd get a book out and explain the bones or the workings of an animal and what have you. And I've learnt it all from there. Yeah.
So how many years did you spend in the lovely seaside town of Albany?
And I was there for 18 months. Yep.
And then moved
to Bunbury.
Here to Bunbury. Yeah.
Yep.
Right.
I saw that there was a bird park in Bunbury. So I went down there and I said, does it cost anything? I said, I'm so into animals, I want to learn more. He said, can you use a till? I said, yeah. He said, right, you're on the till. And straight away, I was taking customers' money and what have you, and we were talking. And up until about 6 months ago, I was still involved with it. So that was 1982 or 3. And I've only just stopped going to the wildlife park at the moment. Yeah. So, that was my home. And
wow, that's a
so
long
many
time.
animals, so many creatures, so many different things. And,
So regularly, would you have people coming in with sick animals?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And because I've semi-retired, because I put on the post and everybody thought I'd retired, but I haven't. I've semi-retired because I don't do kangaroos. I don't do possums now. So I'm mainly birds and reptiles.
Yeah.
I do quite a bit of reptiles. So I've given up doing, and I miss them badly, but when you break your hip and your leg in 3 places and it's healed, but to pick up a big kangaroo, it was, so I said, no, that's it. I'm giving up on
Fair
that
enough.
side.
Yeah.
Well, I hope that wasn't a fracas with a kangaroo that caused injuries.
I just fell backwards in my driveway.
Really?
And smack. That was 2.5
Doreen.
years ago. Yep.
I imagine that not a wildlife is happy to be tenderly cared for by you, Doreen. Do you find that sometimes they do bite, scratch, fight back?
Oh, yes.
Have you had some tussles?
We've had plenty of tussles. Possums are the worst. They bite. Yes, I've got one at home that's I've had for 9 years, and she's getting very old. And I went to get her out the other day, and
Oh, she gave you a nip. Oh,
Yank.
Oh, bless her.
Yes, I had a peacock somebody found it, they brought it in to me, and I've got the scars on the palm of my hand where the spurs go into it. It kicked out at me. Yeah, they how many other animals bite me? You know, a lot of birds and animals, there's a special way of picking them up. You can't just go in there and say, come on, little bird. You've got to do it a special way, otherwise they'll just bite
Well,
you.
I've brought birds to you, Doreen, a
Yes.
couple of times, and I was with you at Christmas when my neighbour found a magpie.
That's right.
Yeah. And she texted me at 7 a.m, say, "Are you awake? Because there's a magpie I've been following for 2 blocks, and now it's on the oval, and I can't touch it because I'm frightened of birds, but I need someone to help me take it to Doreen." And the way
You're the go-to.
the way you handle a bird is so different to how we were like, and trying to, but you'll just
That's
got
right.
it.
Yeah.
Got it.
With the parrots, they will bite you. You know, they get really bitey, and people bring them in a box or
Yeah.
a bag or something, and I just put my hand in there, feel their head, hang on to the back of
Yeah.
hang on to their head, then I bring them out, then I can have a look at them and what have
Amazing.
you, you know, and yeah. The swans are the worst because they can break your arm.
What with? What,
Their
their beak?
wings.
Oh, their wings.
Oh yeah,
Their strength
the
is so
strength
incredible.
of their yeah.
And that's their defence mechanism.
That's right. So the first thing you've got to do is go in there. Oh, there's the swan. You walk up there carefully, grab hold of the neck, and once you've got the neck, you tuck them under your arm, and off you go.
Wow.
Well, you make it sound easy,
yeah.
but I can't say that.
Easier said
Well,
than
I got
done.
a phone call from the police department in Hay Street. There is a swan that's been hit by the car. Can you come down? I went down there. And there is 3 police cars. 1, 2, 3. And there's the swan in there. And I said to the police, "What's going on?" Oh, he said, "We didn't touch it."
Oh,
So I said, "Oh, come here." So I walked in front of the car, grabbed its neck, tuck it under its arm, put its neck over my shoulder, and I said, "Okay, I'll see you later, officers." And they're all going,
Wouldn't that be amazing?
Doreen swoops in like Superwoman.
Oh my God, that's so cool.
yeah. So, yeah, there's a lot of, I've learned in the
Yeah,
years how
yeah.
to pick up animals.
You wouldn't have
and
just met a swan for the first time and known to do that. You've been shown by people
I
with a
wouldn't
lot
have
of
known how to do it because we did it in England. Because you
there
have the
go.
white swans in
Of
England.
course, yes.
You know, so I learned how to, in the zoos, I learned how to,
Is it true that the swans belong to the crown? Yeah.
they do.
Yeah.
Yes.
There you go.
Yes.
Beautiful.
So, what are some of the more horrific injuries that you've come across? And tell me, is it mostly vehicles in this day and age, or is there a whole wide range of different
It's a
things?
whole range. Cats. Now, for cats, for instance, if anything's been, possums with the cats, I've got some horrific photos of the cat ones, but unfortunately they don't survive because the cats poison them
Yeah.
with their claws.
Yeah.
So on each part of their claw is a sac of poison. And if that goes into the bird or the animal, they
That's
will
it.
die.
Okay.
And people say, "Oh, I'm stupid." But who's had a cat scratch and it's gone
Yeah,
all red and
yeah.
raw and you can't heal it for a long time?
That's
That's
why.
why the cat has got poison in there. That's why they should be locked up. Dogs is lizards, possums. They're our main predators for those species. The other ones are is cars, we have a lot horrific, with the bones sticking out and broken legs and. I like the ones. I've got a kookaburra at the moment. He's got concussion. He flew into a car
Oh,
and he's sitting there going,
Oh.
yeah. And people say, "How do you know he's got concussion?" Well, one eye's bigger than the other, and they've got no energy.
Yeah.
It takes them about 2 weeks to come out of it.
Okay.
So that's our main dogs, cats, and cars.
Yeah.
do you have a favourite animal? You're not supposed to have favourites. That's like saying you have a favourite child.
Yeah.
But I can tell you do have a favourite animal. What is it, Doreen?
I've got two, the tawny frogmouth and the kookaburra.
Yeah.
They're my two favourites. Yeah.
And we totally understand that because they are magnificent and such character-filled animals, aren't they?
That's right.
Do you think that's what it is about them that you find so appealing?
I don't know what it is about them. They're just the tawny frogmouths, because there's three different colours because of the area they come from, because they're a camouflage bird.
Oh, yeah.
So the light coloured one is from the gum, the silver gum and the ordinary gum leaf, because the barks are light. Then you've got the real dark one, which comes from Mari and other areas like that. And then there's the brown one, which comes from Karri forests.
There you go.
So we see them, different colours that come in. But they're as cheeky as they come. I've got four at the moment. I go in there with my food and, okay, you can have one now. Okay, you can have one now. And they fly at you and and you hold a piece of meat up like that and they fly up and grab it. Yeah.
Oh.
They're fascinating. And they'll sit on I'll say, go and, especially to children, I said, go and see the frogmouths down in the aviary. Oh, there's only 2 in there. I said, no, there's 5. Because when they're sitting there and they're going into camouflage, they straighten their bodies up so they look like a piece of wood.
Oh, God.
They look like a branch.
Wow.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah, they just flatten everything down and they just go.
That's excellent.
They go,
So at any given time, how many animals have you got at home?
at the moment, not counting my guinea pigs, at the moment I've got, if I count my guinea pigs, I've got 65 creatures at home.
Okay.
Well, how many guinea pigs is that though? That's a lot, isn't it?
How many have I got? 6.
Or last count before
Last
you
count
walked out of the
was
room and they multiplied.
16.
16 guinea pigs.
Yeah.
And so the rest are rescues or pets?
They were rescues. I also get a lot of people surrender
Yeah.
their birds.
Oh.
If they're going away, or if I've got one at the moment, a pink and grey, and the old boy was put into a home and the families didn't know what to do with him.
Yeah.
So I've got him at home.
Yeah.
Lorikeets are the same. I've had them surrendered. I haven't actually brought any birds, but they've all been surrendered.
Yeah.
And so I've got 6 lorikeets, 2 wiros, princess parrot. What's the other one? Princess parrot and...
Oh, don't forget them. That's like forgetting your child's names.
No, the green one.
The green one.
The green one. I can't remember the name of him
Doreen,
at the moment.
That's a lot of mouths to feed. So tell me about a routine through the day, and we'll get on to, the finances and how you go through cobbling all that together. But what's the routine when you wake up in the morning? The babies need to be fed.
Wake up in the morning, let the dogs out. Then turn the television on, have a cigarette. Then I get my breakfast, and then I start with the animal. Make sure all the waters are done, that they've got the seed, they've got the food. I've got a little baby pigeon at the moment that sits there going, which I haven't fed.
Oh.
So he'll be going.
Oh.
So that is, and during the day, like I say, I check the foods, the waters, so I'm always checking. I'm always making sure everything's got food and water and
what kind of food do you have to supply? What, like from seeds to fruit?
Must be all different.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, possums, lorikeets, lizards, they all have fruit, vegetables, and what have you. The guinea pigs obviously have the guinea pig mix, the carrots, the lettuce. The parrots. I've got small parrot. No, I've got dove mix, small parrot mix, and large parrot mix. So I've got 3 different sorts of seed. Then I've got, and I used to buy mice from Murdoch University. We used to get 50 mice for $12.50. But the government has taken over Murdoch now, and they won't supply us mice.
Oh,
So
dear.
I have to get my mice from the pet shop, and I get 5 mice for $27.
Whoa.
And that feeds only the snakes twice a week, and if I've got a kookaburra in or something, and that's it. So that's what I'm spending at the moment.
Wow.
So I get lamb's heart, ox heart, mince.
How do you finance yourself to feed all this? How does it work?
I go without food.
No.
I don't buy a lot of. I don't buy. I buy the pre-packed meat, pre-packed
Meals?
meals, the cooked meals that they do in Coles, because they're $7 a thing. So I get them. I eat the brioche buns, and I have sometimes peanut butter, 2 of them with peanut butter in for my dinner.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So I don't cook for myself anymore,
Yeah.
but I'm okay. Yep.
Wow.
Because the animals come first.
What? It's just incredible that you've put aside your own needs for the animals. What do you think it is? What is that drive in looking after them?
A very soft, loving heart.
Yeah, I think so.
Because when they're caught out or stuck, they can't look after themselves, can they?
That's right. Yep. And the best thing about it is I get them good and put them in, so I've got a room where I've got just the injured animals that come in, my nursery, and then I put them in the aviary out the back, and as soon as they're flying around all right, they're gone. I open the door and they take off, and that is the best part of it, is to see them fly back into the wild.
It brings you
Yeah.
great joy.
It
Is there a
does.
tinge of sadness? Because I imagine you've been the nurse and doctor and
That's right.
is it a bit of a...
And the other day, because I had a kookaburra in, and he got stuck in the grill of a truck. No injuries. He was just stunned because he'd travelled from Perth to Bunbury,
stuck in the grill.
stuck in the grill.
Oh, Lord.
So he was just stunned. So I put him in the cage, put him inside first. He was okay. And I fed him and everything, and he was tapping the cage, let me out, let me out. So I said, okay, baby, do you want to go? And I lifted the lid of the cage and pew, off he went. Wow. Yeah, he let me know
that's
that he
good.
was ready to
He was
go.
good.
Yep. And that, to
That's
see them fly out into the big wide world is beautiful. Yep. That's why I do it.
And are continuing to do it as well. So you laughingly said you're in semi-retirement.
Yeah.
I imagine someone like you, though, gets phone calls or knocks on the doors. Can you imagine all
Us,
times
yeah.
a day Joe's done it?
Yeah. Couple of times.
Yeah.
Yep.
What
At least
is
once
it
a year.
like? Do people, have you got in your mind, certain people that have come, they must be hysterical. Maybe they've hit a duck or...
Yeah, some people cry. Some people are so, we don't know what to do, and and I just
Yeah.
I just pick them up, I look at them, I say, oh, look, that's what's wrong, and I show them, and they're going, aren't you frightened of them?
No. Amazing.
Yep. So, we have all sorts. Last year, because I have to do a report every year to go to the DBCA, CALM, whatever you... and there was 16,000... No, sorry. Yeah, I'm trying to work it out now. There was 12,000 creatures last year
that came through your door.
that come through my door.
Oh, my God.
Yep.
That's incredible. Yep. Thank goodness you're here, Doreen.
What happened? What happened when you were out of action for a while? Did people step in?
A couple of...
I suppose that's hard though because it's your passion and
I got to
it's
be
your
careful
thing.
how what I say, because there was a couple of groups that tried to destroy me. Yep, and I've had to put it right, but I don't know how right it's going to be. But yeah, I'm always getting somebody's.
Yeah. So are you worried about the future when you actually say, hey, I can't do this anymore?
What's going to happen?
What's
with
going to
the
happen?
animals?
Yeah.
Yep,
You need a succession plan
that's right.
of good people, not
But trouble is, these other groups are taking over, but they won't do this, they won't take that, they won't do it. You know,
Yeah.
it's very, very hard, isn't it? No, I'll do it till the day I die, no doubt.
excellent.
But I've got to give some time now to see my grandchildren and get up to Perth and
Yeah.
But what I'm doing now, I can actually do
Great.
because I can feed them really well on Friday night and go away and come back Sunday.
All right.
And I know they're going to be okay. So I can get some time off. Yeah.
Great.
Do you think we're doing enough to care for our wildlife? Do you think that as a community and people, are we doing enough to retain their natural habitat? Because, of course, we've got expanding populations and vegetation going.
Yeah, not not the habitat, no, but there are. Look, I'd hate to think how many people out there are really looking out for the wildlife and really trying to help them. But unfortunately, there's a new estate gone up in Dalyellup. Well, they took all the bush away.
Yeah.
So they're getting birds coming in to looking for food, and people are starting to feed them, and they're getting into trouble for feeding them. But we're saying, my argument is that was the bird's home. They come back to that home. What do you do? Send them away and let them die?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've given up arguing on that.
Yeah,
one.
sure.
Yeah.
So if you've got a nice, bird habitat around your house, what's some of the things that you can be doing to help look after? Is it okay to pop some seed out next to the bird bath or whatever?
Yes, it is. Yes. And at the moment, because there's hardly any food out there, all the trees are drying out, the blossoms aren't coming out because of lack of rain for 4 months. Everything's dying down. Same as the possums. They eat 90% of their weight a night on peppy leaves.
Do they?
Yep. But you go up to a peppy tree leaf and do that and it crumbles.
Yeah.
So they're coming into the suburbia for looking for roses and, different things to eat. Yeah.
So they eat roses?
That's why they
I've got
go
heaps of
next
roses.
door.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we've got a possum in our roof that we kept nice for him. Her. I think there's babies.
Definitely a possum?
Yeah. We see it. And then across at the school there's a whole stack of peppy trees. So we see that a lot of the time. But we've got roses, and I was going to put roses out the front. So I'll just keep putting the roses out the front.
Yeah, well, I've got rose trees, but there's no roses on it because
Well,
I
it's
use
food. Yeah.
Stripped
Yeah.
bare.
I've stripped them all.
So I was thinking, maybe I should plant more natives and stuff. But now that I know that possums like a rose.
I've got grevillea. I've got grevillea trees. I've got some plumbago growing. I'm going to try and grow some Geraldton wax if I can this year because they eat that. The wattle, bottle brush.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to, trying to keep that going, but they're trying to stop us doing that. They're trying to stop us because I just stop on the road. Oh, that's a nice bush. But I can get a $5,000 fine for cutting it now because it's Crown land.
Yeah, right. Yep, yep.
Unless I pay $400 for a licence. And I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
Do you think it's hard when you've got suburbia and people in homes and then, I know, for example, the possums around this area, we've got a really big population of them coming and going. But they do things that upset then people in homes, don't they? As far as that.
They pee everywhere.
Yeah, like, and I'm just being the devil's advocate
Yeah,
here,
yeah,
though
yeah.
it's a bit of a clash, isn't it, when you're talking about suburbia and people living, and then you've got the wildlife. Like, it's hard sometimes
It
to
is
find
hard.
that balance.
Yep. Yep. Well, my biggest thing at the moment is, if you've got dogs, why have you got dogs? If you love your dogs and they're part of the family, have them in the house at night, so they don't bark and they don't catch our possums. If you've got cats, build them a run.
Looking at
Put them
that.
in there. You know, so that's two ways of protecting the wildlife.
Yeah.
You know, and just little things like that people can do, and people can help our wildlife, because, like I said to one lady, you've got possum in your roof, but how long's the house been up? Oh, 18 months. I said, a tree was here, and that's where your possum lived.
Of course, yeah.
So it's come back home.
Yeah.
And this is where I have a lot of teaching people how to look after, how to keep them. And at the moment, we've got a possum in our roof. It keeps us awake all night. No, you haven't. You've got a rat.
Rat, yeah.
And they get quite insulted that they've got a rat in their roof.
Because you don't hear the possums at night. So you can hear them going, like in the evening. We watch them on the fence and they're going, and then they come back later, but then they don't move at night because they're not there, are they?
That's right.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
And
rats.
I'm a person who, I won't practice. I mean, I won't preach unless I've practiced. Okay? So I had a beautiful big brush-tailed possum. Hand-reared her from a little one, but she was big. So I stuck her in my roof. And she was up there for 2 weeks. I fed her every night and give her water and what have you. Never heard a sound. Never had wet marks coming through the ceiling, which I do now because I've got a couple of rats up there. She used to come out at night, and I used to watch it. It was so funny. If it was raining, she'd come out at night, and she'd come out and she'd come out thing, and you could see her doing this. And I thought, what's she doing? She stuck her bum over the gutter and did a wee.
Oh.
Then she went back into the roof. They don't wee in their own nest.
Yeah. They're not rats.
I did not know that.
Yes.
there you go.
My
Doreen, scratch.
A bird scratch.
yeah, I scratched a scratch. Yeah.
There you go.
Thanks,
First
sweetheart.
aid. First aid for the wildlife carer.
Yeah.
Do you need anything on that?
No.
You all right?
Yeah.
Bit of spit and polish and you'll be fine. Oh, Doreen. All good?
Oh, good.
All right. Nice. Oh, she's got the magic touch, hasn't she?
Oh yes.
Can heal
Yeah.
anything.
So
Yeah.
I try and educate people when they phone me up, or
Yeah.
they talk about it, and
Yeah.
So
Fair enough.
yeah, so that's how I treat them, and it's the same as the Corellas. They're going to do some culling again this year.
Big numbers around the city.
They're only just coming back.
Right.
They've been absent for quite a long time, but the pink and greys are building up again. People say they shouldn't be here. They're injured, and that's another thing. A lot of the creatures shouldn't be here. I agree. The pink and greys, the Corellas, because they were Northern Territory creatures, but because of the droughts they had up there, they started moving down, and they've found that Bunbury and Busselton are the best places because we're always green. And they say, oh, but they eat wire and they eat this and they're destructive. And I've got Corellas in aviaries at the moment, and we've put thin wire up there. We've put thick wire up there. They don't destroy anything.
Yeah. They're looking for food, aren't they?
They're looking for
Yeah.
food. That's right. Yep.
Yeah. So they're victims of the environment and climate, really, aren't they?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Goodness. Doreen, and as years go past, what would you like people to think about you as far as your legacy? Because, 40 plus years as a wildlife warrior is significant. I know, right? Did that make you feel old? Bless. What would you like people to be thinking about you and what you've taught them?
I don't know.
Would it just be that you're a lady with a soft heart who really cared for the wildlife?
I think so. Yeah. Some of the messages I get there, it's so beautiful on Facebook. People really appreciate what I've done and what I'm doing, and the kids, because I go to the schools and do talks, and it's everybody just. I'm a beautiful lady. I've got a heart of gold. You've taught us so much in the past. Yeah.
Yeah, well, we think it's pretty fabulous what you're doing.
Well,
And
you're a local legend.
yeah, we're absolutely
Everybody.
thrilled that you could be in the Wisdom of Women studio so that we can hear about all your amazing knowledge.
I just feel proud that I've been brought up by a family that think of other people, think of other creatures, think of, even my darling dad, even when he retired, he was always helping people because he was an electrician, so he was always mending fridges and freezers and, and they loved him in Albany. Yeah. You just mention the word, his surname, and they go, "Oh, Trotty, yeah, we know Trotty, all right," and that's, the way we've been brought up is to help, learn, and do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have a favourite quote that you would like to
I'm
share
a
with us?
celebrity. Get me out of here.
That's the best one I've ever heard.
No, we're not letting you out quite yet, Doreen.
I couldn't resist.
She is
That's
a celebrity.
fantastic. She really is.
Yeah. Oh, you are so funny. What do you think a woman should hear at least once in her life?
That they're appreciated and they're loved. Yeah. I think appreciation is the biggest thing at the moment. Yeah. Yep.
It's beautiful. Beautiful words, Doreen. We love it. There you go.
If you enjoyed watching this episode today or listening, then subscribe and come back to listen to other episodes in the future and put a notification so you know.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming on.
Thank you, Doreen. Absolutely wonderful. We loved it.
My daughter's put in a donation and put in a thing in for Volunteer of the Year.
Oh, really?
Told me this morning.
Well,
Yes.
deserved.
Well, how do we second that?
Yes.
Yeah. We'll have to jump on
Yeah.
that one.
Yeah.
Well done, Doreen. We will be
Yes,
too.
yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. You deserve it.
Yeah, so
Fabulous.
I couldn't believe she said that this morning. I was so rapt.
Yeah.
Thanks for
Yeah.
chatting with
It's
us,
about
Doreen.
time.
Beautiful. Thanks.
And always remember,
Every day.
You are remarkable.